Jesus is a friend of mine.
Jesus is my friend.
Jesus is a friend of
I
mine.
have a friend in Jesus.
Do you want to die, Sydney? Your mother sure didn't.
Fuck you, you creep. Please don't.
Jesus wept.
Tell the sheriff I got him.
I got plans for you. I'm gonna slit your eyelids in half so you don't blink when I stab you in the face.
You don't know what death is.
I like to dissect girls. Did you know I'm utterly insane?
Hey, you're listening to episode number 23 of Blood, Guts, and B-Movie Trash Talk, where we watch and review movies that you do not have time for. Now, I'd like to introduce a few fine gentlemen before we move forward with this fantastic franchise retrospective we have in store for you. Steve?
Well, hello. I think gentleman's a stretch.
You're a gentleman.
Okay.
I consider you a gentleman.
I appreciate it.
Anytime. And we got Danny Vasquez, not to be confused with Vasquez.
Right.
Oh, hey. Thanks for taking my fake heritage into account. I appreciate it.
Anytime. And lastly here, Kyle. How's it going?
It's good.
Nice.
What the fuck?
A good day to you, sir.
Good day. Well, we have a fantastic show in store. We are going to finish up the Basket Case Trilogy retrospective. Gentlemen, how are we feeling so far?
Let me say this movie, I believe, is called Basket Case 2, Belial Decides to Be Helpful, right? Is that what it's called?
I thought it was Basket Case 2. What do you do with all the extra budget?
Yeah.
So speaking
turns out
of
maybe
budget,
it was just
did
called-
anybody look and see how much more money he got for part 2?
This one's 2.5
It's like
million.
2.5?
Yeah, 2.5. That's 75 times the original budget.
Indeed.
I just thought it was
Indeed.
puppet leg flipping sex. Like, that's all I got out of it, so.
Oh, you calm down. We'll get there.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's some classy puppet sex. So, yeah, we're going to pick up where we left off. Last episode, we reviewed the first Basket Case. Now we have Frankina Lauder's Basket Case 2. Now, Steve, you just provided us with the budget. Do you have any other fantastic information that you would like to provide before we jump into some...
I wouldn't say information. This has been upgraded from a no budget to a Halloween 6 feel budget. Is what I noticed when I was watching. But,
oh, yeah.
That's all I got.
Okay, gotcha. Well, I have a bit of information I think that may make us feel a bit better, and some of the other people out there that have sat through this fucking snoozer. So Frank Henenlotter actually had no plans or intention to create this trilogy. Now, the main reason he came out with Basket Case 2 and 3 is because it was included in the contract for him to get budgeting for Frankenhooker. Yeah. So the producer he had pitched Frankenhooker to said, yep, we're greenlighting that project, but I want a Basket Case franchise to go along with it.
Seems fair.
That doesn't seem like... That seems very odd to be like, we're going to make a movie about a hooker that you put back together with a whole bunch of other little hooker pieces. And
We're split checking all those Bradley brothers.
Yeah. The world wants to know what's going on at the Bradleys.
Yeah.
Yeah. If taking a chance on some crazy hooker movie with a few $1 million isn't enough, how about we take a chance on 2 more fucking Basket Case movies as well? You got a deal.
We're gonna show Jim Henson what's up with these fucking puppets here. That's what he was thinking the whole fucking time.
Well, it was a success.
Yeah.
Trevor, you got the back of the box?
Oh, do I?
Oh, boy.
Let's hear it.
So Belial is back, and this time he's brought along some friends. In this sequel to the notorious cult classic, Dwayne Bradley and his hideous deformed brother are accepted into a family of special individuals under the care of Granny Ruth, a kindly spinster doctor, and her beautiful... Yeah, I guess so, according to the back of this box. And her beautiful granddaughter. When a snooping tabloid reporter and a sleazy photographer threaten to endanger the community's welfare, Dwayne and Belial join with the freaks to defend their privacy with a vengeance.
That was 15 pages shorter than the last box.
Yeah, it was.
Jesus. Yeah.
I think there's a reason for that.
Oh, here we go. I was just going to say, the movie opens with some, like, showing what happened in the first movie. Did you notice if this was, like, actual, just regular, like, it looked like it was just the regular footage, but did they add anything into this, or was it just straight footage from the first movie?
I think it was straight footage from the first movie.
Yeah.
Because I was expecting, like, retcon, like, for them to change all sorts of stuff, but I was like, this looks like just shit from the first movie, so bravo.
Well, and that's the best part about that is they literally just take it from the first movie. So you see the Belial puppet 8 years before, and then you see masturbated too much arm Belial.
It's a beefy.
Like 5 seconds later.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, with his
Gaines.
cake arms.
Gaines.
Danny Vasquez Belial.
Danny Gaines.
Now, yeah, this movie came 8 years after the original, and with that being the case, Dwayne Bradley.
You can tell by Dwayne.
The guy that plays Dwayne. Yeah, he's definitely aged. So that was quite a bold move to fucking bring this back to literally start right after the first one.
Well, not only that, they got rid of his flowing locks out of the way, which kind of defeats the whole purpose of bringing him back, in my opinion.
Without that haircut, he's just some fucking guy he's just a guy.
Yeah,
he's not even. He's missing all of his cool.
And it's funny too because when they pick it up where they kind of left off with him being knocked out the window, you find out he's actually still alive. And they got his head all bandaged up. Now, when his head is bandaged up, it still looks like he's got that crazy, beautiful hair. Mm-hmm. It's not till after later you're like, wait a minute, I've been double-crossed.
Yeah, it's true. It's the old bait.
Yeah, I got...
old bait and switch.
Switch. Yeah, I was going to say, Kyle, you've probably heard this term a lot, being in our... being over our product, like merchandising department. Our customers like to call it the bait and switch. Am I right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. That they do.
So
I like to call it the who done it haircut.
Yeah.
Well, before we
actually cut his hair and who cut that scene. Yeah.
Granny Ruth. My money's on Granny Ruth cut his hair.
Well, before we go any further on this, fellas, do you recommend the movie?
No.
I actually do. Because it's a great transition. If you want to see somebody who had like no money and what happens to them when they get like a lot of money and where they can take it. I mean, you've seen probably examples of when someone has a low budget flick and then makes some money and gets a lot more for the sequel and does great things. This is what happens when you just have no fucking idea what you're going to do and need to spend $2.5 million.
Mm-hmm. Sure.
I actually
go.
What's that?
What were you gonna say, Danny? Or not Danny, but Steve?
I was gonna say I thought it was kind of fun. I would say give it a watch.
Nice.
I loved all those penis-headed freaks. What about you?
Yeah.
Well, what about you, Danny?
I already said
no.
But...
Yeah, he was like,
yeah, but let's give us a sentence or two as to why.
So. The first movie was so much, I don't know, it was like we talked about last time where it was that like New York street trash kind of movie, right?
Yep.
And this is the Frank Henenlotter, well, fuck, I guess I have to make a movie. Here's a whole shit ton of money. What can I do to make people not watch this?
Yeah, this is the Staten Island version.
Oh, man. This is spray tan version. This is not good.
spray tan version.
Trevor?
Well, here's my thought. Here's my thought. Now, he had to make these movies in order to get Frankenhooker funded, which I am glad he did that because Frankenhooker is fucking fantastic.
Yeah, it's
Right.
pretty great.
Now, these two movies, from what I had read and researched, he wanted to do it differently. He didn't even want Dwayne Bradley's character to be in this movie. He wanted it to be called House of Freaks, and he wanted it to be just this crazy-ass fucking, pretty much, I guess,
Like
modern
fucking
version of
Todd Bowling's Freaks.
Yeah. So he not only kind of got shafted in the sense that he was forced to make these movies, but he also couldn't do them the way he wanted. So you can definitely, from my point of view, you can definitely see the Heenan Lauder, if you want to call him an auteur, you can see the Heenan Lauderness in these movies, but they're not, you can't see the passion really, or him wanting to really do this. So I recommend it because it's fucking goofy.
Yeah. Well, you get
and it's like a, yeah, it's definitely, it doesn't have the grittiness, obviously, because he had more money to make it, but it's just cleaner and a lot more playful.
Because, yeah, that's what you want in a movie where they rip people to shreds.
Yeah,
I want.
So I would say I recommend it, but I wouldn't be too excited about what you're going to be watching.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
So
Also, did
yeah,
they lose?
anybody else have anything that they would want to let the audience know about before giving this bad boy a watch?
If you like veins and ball sacks attacking people, then yeah, I'd
wouldn't?
recommend watching
All right.
this.
I have recommendations for if you like, then you'll like this movie, but I'll wait till the end to go over those.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, I'm gonna one up you, Steve.
You're gonna moving in on my. You're getting on my Kool-Aid, baby.
I am. I like your Kool-Aid though. I want to take a sip.
All right. Well, before we jump into a full spoiler review here, we're going to take a quick break, and we'll be back.
Scream at us on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook at B-Movie Trash Talk. And don't forget to visit the website at www.bmovietrashtalk.com.
It lives 50 feet beneath the streets. It weighs over 2,000 pounds. It's killed 5 people already. And it's about to break out. Alligator, rated R.
Starts Friday at theaters and drive-ins throughout Sacramento, Stockton, and Modesto.
And we're back.
Hey.
Hey. All right, so let's start this bad boy out. Now, this movie picks up right where the first one left off, right, guys?
Mm-hmm.
That's
all
correct.
right. So, who has the guts to talk a bit about this intro and what happens, obviously, and how obvious it is that this is 8 years later and not 24 hours later?
Oof. Well, he looks like he's eating his way out of a decent haircut.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it opens with some flashes from the first movie, and then you see a news reporter referring to Belial as a small monstrosity, I believe, and some women see the news coverage on TV, and so that's kind of where it starts, and then it becomes pretty obvious that it's quite a while later and not immediately after.
I think the thing that really tipped me off was the fact that it was in letterbox and not pan and scan.
It's a good observation.
Nice.
You do get a cool
that's what set
cameo
you
though at
off.
the beginning. So, Danny, you want to tackle that? Who's the cool cameo you get to see at the beginning of the movie?
I don't, because I feel like you need to let people know that you were wrong.
Oh, God damn it.
Basket Case 1.
Yeah, okay. So if you listen to our first retrospect on Basket Case, Danny and I had a bit of a spat, if you will, about which hooker Dwayne was talking to. And I was wrong. It was not Josephine. It was Casey. And,
I said you were going to need some
boom.
substantial evidence to overturn Danny, and you wouldn't listen.
I know. I'm over here going, no, fuck you guys. New guy's got to prove himself. New guy was wrong. It was Casey. And that's who you see in the beginning giving an interview to one of the news reporters.
Yep.
8 years heavier, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah. She has some new hair, too.
Now, she makes a cameo in almost every one of Heenan Lauder's movies. It's pretty funny. So we
Start, guys.
Yeah.
So we actually see the intro to this movie as it just explaining pretty much the conclusion of the first. Now, Belial and Dwayne are being hauled off in an ambulance, and it's the news coverage is crazy. And we know this is where we see Granny Ruth and her granddaughter, and they see the news, and they have this plan to gather up these two gentlemen so that way society doesn't eat them whole.
It's not as sexy as it sounds.
It's not. Now, Dwayne and Belial they're taken to the hospital because of their injuries. And Belial he wakes up and he telepathically screams at Dwayne, telling him to wake up, and they escape out of the hospital. But before they do, Belial takes his first victim.
Oh, yeah.
And Steve, how classy is this guy? Would you say he's a gentleman? Would you say he's a badass?
Maybe somewhere in between. If I remember correctly, the nurse and the cop are talking, and then Dwayne and Belial get out of bed, and after the cops failed flirt, they decide to kill him.
That's correct.
He's a classy boy.
Yeah, so Belial spills the blood.
Dude,
and within
the biggest thing,
5 minutes.
The biggest thing, you guys, motherfucker could stick to walls. He's been hiding that from us all along.
Yes, he has. Now, after this fantastic little episode, Dwayne goes and steals some old geriatric fuck's clothes out of another room and hides Belial in what seems to be like I don't know, what would you call it, a maintenance cart of some sort?
It's like a housekeeping basket.
Janitor cart, yeah. Something.
Yeah, something like that. But he hides him in there, and he takes Belial out. And as he's passing in disguise, there's
some disguise there.
Yeah, some disguise. But anyways, he passes a police officer. Want to see a police officer, the nurse, and the reporter that is interested in interviewing Belial and Dwayne. So we get the first look at the ridiculous reporter that will continue to follow them and become more prominent as the movie moves forward.
That cop is so angry, though. Holy shit.
Yeah.
He's like
she gives him money.
She gives him money, and he's like, "You got a bad fucking attitude, lady."
Yep, that's how he sounded.
He's like a level 10 the whole time.
All right, so they escape out of the hospital, and Granny Ruth pick him up, and Dwayne has no hesitation to jump in the back of this rape van.
Well,
yeah, they had candy, dude.
And then it's awesome because Rape Van makes its escape through what I can only assume is the Atlantic Ocean with the size of the fucking puddle that comes off of it.
Yeah. So where do they go next?
It's the Staten Island version, remember?
Where do they go after this?
Well, I would say that
Granny Ruth's
they go to Granny Ruth's house, and Granny Ruth and Susan give Belial a new basket and introduce him to the other freaks. Now, let's talk about these freaks for a second. You got some handsome ones. You got some with noses all over the goddamn place. My favorite was the guy with the half-moon penis head.
Oh, yeah.
You guys see that guy?
Did anyone
I call him Mac
recognize
tonight.
him? He's the McDonald's
Mac
boy
tonight.
that just turned into
the moon guy, right?
Yeah. So they didn't really name a lot of the freaks in the movie, so I gave them some of their own names. So you have Piano Teeth, you have Tubby Poop Man, one I lovingly call Chrome Dome. We already talked about Mac tonight. Stevie, wonder what the fuck kind of cancer is on your face. Can't forget Jimmy Longarms. He's great. Frankie Fishbait.
Oh.
We have Rash from Battletoads. Lexington from Gargoyles. And my personal favorite, 27 Dick's Face.
Yeah, so those are some of the names, and unfortunately they weren't credited as those, but I wish they were.
And if you haven't seen this movie, you can just think of the names and they look just like it. So
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Now you'll know.
Bravo. Now, Granny Ruth hauls that fucking basket up the attic stairs, and she introduces Belial to all these creatures that Kyle just so kindly introduced us to.
He caringly named.
Belial finds that he's got a piece of ass that he's going to fucking make his own, I hear.
Yeah.
So there is a woman Belial.
Who would have thunk it?
She also seems to be some sort of cancerous growth with hair, though.
Yeah. Now, she's not...
Did anyone else notice that they kind of like gave up on making their like faces in the puppet? So they're like, they just put this weird foam blob around someone's actual face, and they're like, meh.
Yeah. I was going to just mention that. Like, instead of her, the woman Belial, being a complete dummy prosthetic, they just literally did makeup on an actual woman, which is pretty ridiculous. But so after this happens, where are we at?
So
Belial's
the one thing you might want to include is Granny Ruth introduces him to some of the people, and she explains what it is that she does, like what her purpose of this place is.
That's a good call. Go over
So
that.
she's talking to Belial and tells him that basically all these freaks that she's found throughout various people, it's either their parents didn't want them or she purchased them from sideshows, and basically she's just trying to provide like a normal, quiet life for them where they can, live in peace and not be, shown off on display.
Sure. Not being exploited.
So they're
exploited.
So they're humanely living in a fucking dark attic, all crammed in there.
Yeah.
Right. But the thing that's weird too is they have access to the rest of the house. You'll see them wandering about, but they hang out in the attic, man.
They just don't like it.
They dig it.
So the newspaper, some newspaper personnel, they talk about keeping the story going. Right, that's what's coming up next, even though they have no more leads. So they're kind of trying to make something out of this, even though the story's gone cold.
Yeah, so the lead editor or whatever of the paper states that there was an old lady that ran a freak house, and they had done like some stories on her in the past, and that she would probably be a good follow-up for the story, just to get her word, not necessarily to check to see if Belial and Dwayne are there, but to just get her say on the whole issue with the freak Siamese twins being out on the loose.
Mm-hmm.
By the way, the guy's name is Lou the editor, just because they really wanted to continue on in the vein of Dr. Needleman and shit like that. So it was just Lou the editor, because that sounds like a news guy's name.
Oh, Lou.
Yeah.
Old Lou, that bastard.
So one of the first leads that the writer has, I can't remember her name. Anybody have that?
Oh, are you talking about the news lady?
Yeah,
Susan, no, it wasn't Susan.
Right? No, I don't think she actually ever gets named.
Yeah,
or wait,
interesting.
Sorry,
I just know her as the tabloid reporter.
Yeah, her credit in IMDb is literally newswoman.
There we go.
Newswoman. Wow, that's interesting. She has a name. I fucking know she does.
I think she does too. Actually,
I can't remember. But anyways, that's who gives a fuck. Now, her first lead, one of her first leads is this random guy that does this on the side of the road freak show.
He crudely pieces things together.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so their idea of this story isn't to find Belial per se. It's really just to talk about
drum
it
up some excitement.
Leads. Yeah, and so she calls this person to get some information, or she's going to interview him, and he claims that he has Belial.
And for 100 smackaroos, she can check it out.
Damn! 100 smackaroos! Whoa! Whoa, boy! 100 smackaroonies!
So she agrees to give him $100, and he's got a giant boner. He had to tuck it into his waistband.
That's what I was going to say.
That big.
and he had to tuck it into his Long John's waistband.
One piece PJs.
But anyway, so she agrees to give him the $100, and she heads down there. And before she can get there, Granny Ruth makes her presence.
Fucking Granny Ruth, looks like the lady from Mama's Family, shows up.
Yep.
And she's got that fucking weird, distracting wig. And
is that wig real?
It looks super fake.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah,
she looks like a lost Golden Girl.
Yep.
Did you guys ever watch Mama's Family? You remember that with like that lady that she was also in like Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back, the nun that was driving, the Harry Bush nun.
Yeah, she was also in Star Wars.
No, I don't. That can't be. That can't be right.
She played Princess Leia.
No, that wasn't a character.
That she doesn't exist.
No, I don't know what you're talking about. Yeah, anyway, this lady looks a lot like that lady on that sitcom, but yeah, so Granny Ruth shows up to this exhibit, and she gets mad at him for having the fake Belial.
Right.
And
she just gets mad because
he's exploiting freaks.
He's exploiting freaks for money.
By just stapling dead things together.
Right.
Yeah.
So at first she's very polite and she's like talking to him and asking him to show all his stuff. But once she calls him out, Danny, give me your best. What does he say to her? What does he call her?
I can't. I kind of stopped paying attention right away. So you're going to have to help
me
here.
He's all trash, scum. What else did he call her?
Yeah. Trash, scum. God, I can't remember. Fuck, I can't remember. Here, we'll just play the clip.
It's hilarious though.
All right.
Trash, lowlife, and scum! I'm just trying to make a living, lady. I wonder whatever happened to that gal with the $100.
All right, yeah, we just played that clip. That is fucking funny.
That was definitely the clip.
Thanks for finding that, Trevor.
So she unleashes Belial on this fellow, right?
Oh yeah.
She leaves the basket there, and he goes and fucking checks to see what's in the basket.
He's like, there's nothing in there. He's all, trying to psych himself up to open it.
Drinking a bottle of fucking stale wine that was in that show.
And what's cool though is you could tell they upped the budget in this scene because we talked about last time them doing the old reversey dump the Belial out kind of maneuver, and you could tell this one was spring loaded.
Oh yeah,
they crammed him in there.
Yeah, so
the woman from the paper
Belial
shows up after this, right? After this extravagant Belial dive.
That's correct.
Are you going to say something about Belial hopping out, Trevor?
Well, I was just going to say this dude's funny, and that little rant that he goes on, he's fucking pissed. But Granny Ruth says, well, Belial's got a few things to say, or like...
She says, like, you two work it out.
Yeah, she says something along the lines of that, and then he doesn't believe that Belial's in the basket, and he goes and opens it, and Belial just fucks the shit out of his face.
He can actually fight now.
Throws him in... Yeah, it throws him in some sort of exhibit, like fish tank or something.
That was like the mermaid exhibit. He crams him in there.
He's
still half alive when the reporter gets there.
Yeah, she shows up
and then she doesn't do anything. That's the best part. She's like, oh god, he's still half alive in there, and then just fucking leaves him.
Yeah. And I think this is this nice, clean movie trying to still play on the seedy part of New York. Like, oh yeah, I'm a reporter. I saw a dead guy. Like, I don't care.
Right? She's like, I ain't no snitch.
Yeah.
Yep.
I think pretty much it. All right, so we go back to the writing headquarters or whatever, and we see that the tabloid writer meets up with the sleazy photographer, right?
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
And they're discussing this opportunity, and that Belial is actually out on the loose, and that she feels that this stupid fucking story the editor wants her to write is much bigger and can be much bigger, and that they can make more money. And so she teams up with this dude, and they're going to go to Granny Ruth's house and get photos and get the scoop or whatnot and move forward with the project. Now
she heads to his house first without the...
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you're right. So she actually goes over to Granny Ruth's to get more information on the story, and Granny Ruth fucking tells her off, like, bitch, get the fuck out of here. You wrote a story on me. You guys wrote a story on me a while ago. You just completely threw me under a fucking bus. You're a terrible person. Blah blah blah. But anyways,
Yada,
as
yada.
Granny Ruth boots her out of the house, and right as she's booting her out of the house, guess who fucking walks in?
Right. So in the meantime, what ended up happening is Dwayne and Belial, they needed to talk. So he takes Belial out to the old woodshed.
Out
or,
the
or
old
whatever
shed.
the fuck it is. And basically he's telling him that like he doesn't feel like he belongs at the house, and he's in love with Granny Ruth's is it her daughter?
It's her granddaughter.
Susan. Susan, who's easy on the eyes.
Yeah.
So he tells Belial that, you found somebody, you found this weird puppet Eve that, you're going to get to fuck later. So I want to have a normal life, and like I want to be free of you, basically. Like I've paid my debts to you. We killed the doctors that separated us. I think we're good to go.
Mm-hmm.
So he finishes
and this
that
is
conversation.
the part where Belial starts fucking laughing too.
Oh yeah,
this is like
it
was so fucking
It
awkward.
is so funny too, because in that scene, it's a guy's head that same thing. They put a bunch of foam around it, so you can.
Yeah.
It looks totally different than the Belial puppet. So while Dwayne is explaining to Belial that I can have this normal life with this girl, and she's what I need, Belial just starts like laughing at his ass, like, okay, whatever. He does his little
And
go ahead.
I thought that was odd.
Mm-hmm.
You don't quite know why he's doing that. Like, is he just playing a part of the whole Dwayne going crazy here, or is he laughing because Belial knows that this girl's a freak and she's not normal?
Yeah.
And Dwayne just doesn't know yet.
Or maybe the director
I don't
doesn't
know.
give a shit about this and forgot how Belial's supposed to act. Who knows?
Let's make him laugh. That'll be good.
You know what the kids want to see? They
Maybe
want to
he
see
told
Belial
Belial
laugh.
has a sense of humor there.
Maybe he told some fucking knock-knock joke telepathically.
Yeah.
And they just got to laugh, and oh no.
So Dwayne walks
He was
back
thinking
in
about that
just
puppet sex
as
later.
the reporter lady's leaving, and she recognizes him instantly. And you can
The
tell,
dumb
like,
fuck's carrying a wicker basket.
right, he's carrying a basket. Granny Ruth
That
tries
the
to cover for
groceries
him.
are in.
She's
Yeah.
like, "Oh, this is Michael," and he's like, "Oh, I have these groceries you wanted in this basket."
He's the worst.
Oh yeah,
He's the worst actor.
Yeah, he's so he fucks it up royally, right? So,
Mhm.
anyways,
Yep.
reporter lady, she plays dumb, she plays coy, she leaves, and then Dwayne's like, "I don't think she recognized me. Do you think she recognized me? I don't think she recognized me. Maybe she recognized me. What do you think? Do you think she recognized me?" Is that pretty good?
That was good.
That's good. Yeah. So this is where we jump to the scene where she picks up that sleazy photographer and starts working out a plan to go back and get the photos and get the real story right.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So they're cutting Lou out of the loop, right? They're gonna go back, and they go back for whatever reason. They go back at night because that's the time that it's safe. Is at
Be around
night.
freaks.
Yeah.
The cover of
I don't know.
darkness.
This is the what I got out of it is that we're scoping the house out and waiting for Granny Ruth to leave. And so at that time, they're sitting outside watching. Granny Ruth gets in the van with her granddaughter and they leave.
Well,
And so-
she tells him flat out, like, just go get a picture of Dwayne. Don't do anything else. Don't do anything stupid, right? And he's just supposed to go in there and get a picture. Meanwhile, the audience already knows that all these freaks and Granny Ruth had concocted a plan to fucking kill these guys. Like,
Yep.
without ever meeting them, they're like, this guy's going to come in the house. You're going to fucking make up this plan to kill him. And then Dwayne does his amazing method acting again when the guy sees him. Oh, yes, I told her you were sick and you can't come downstairs. Yes, I will go upstairs to the attic where you are. Like,
yep. The poor photographer follows the trail of breadcrumbs that Dwayne left for him. He goes upstairs and he begins. This is kind of a cool scene because they use the flash on the camera and it has like a strobe light effect. So it's pitch black, then it shows the creatures getting closer and closer. So it's kind of
reminds
cool.
me of Goosebumps.
But, minus the fact if you have epilepsy, I mean, there's a fucking seizure waiting to happen.
That's true.
They didn't worry about this kind of thing back then, Danny.
Anyways,
it was watching movies at your own risk.
Yeah, they really didn't care about that kind of stuff.
No. And again, the guy just sits there while getting killed. He just keeps taking pictures while all these freaks like
keep killing him,
jump on him.
Yeah, he has plenty of time to react.
Well,
and actually, isn't
the freaks don't even hurt him.
That's right.
Like the freaks just walk closer and closer, and then Belial's right behind him and starts fucking his face.
And that's
the
one
part
of the,
too. He just sits there.
One of the beefs that
he keeps taking pictures. He keeps taking pictures
here.
of Belial over and over and over again, and then Belial slowly crawls towards him, and he's like, "Oh God, help me!" And it's like, if you fucking jumped down 20 seconds ago, you would have been fine, asshole.
Yeah. And what I was going to say that I think Trevor agrees with, one of the beefs that I have with these two movies is none of the other freaks get any fucking kills. It's all Belial. What's up with that?
Yeah, they're pussies.
Right?
Yeah, they are giant.
Well,
I agree. They're giant ass pussies. Well, and here's the thing: like, you have the ability to like really turn this into probably a franchise that could keep going if all these freaks were just crazy assholes.
Right.
But none of them are. I mean, the subplot of Granny Ruth's freak den and her objective to take care of these people because they can't make it in normal society, it sucks because you don't care about them at all.
No.
They're completely irrelevant to the story because they don't do anything. They're not even funny.
They're almost like comical in the way that that she has, or I shouldn't say that she has, but that they are portrayed in the movie. Like, they're very animated, like they wring their hands together and they jump up and down and like they're like fucking munchkins.
They're like children. Yeah, they're like weird, deformed, demented children that don't know how to act in society.
Yeah,
because
pretty much.
they've been living in a fucking attic.
Not in a cool way where like
they
they fuck shit up, like in a boring way where it's like, oh, what fucking fucked up Muppet
where they follow the rules
accident did you come from?
Yeah, it's like, oh yeah, it's not in a cool way where like, oh, they're gonna go out and kill people. It's more of a shitty way, like where they piss and shit their pants and you have to change their diaper.
Yeah, they allow you to chain them onto the bus and drive them over the rock quarry.
Yes.
Exactly.
Oh, they do have one cool redeeming scene in the entire movie. Just one, but we'll get to that in a few minutes.
All right. So we digress on the lameness of the group of freaks. Now, where are we at? The photographer, he's killed. And the tabloid bitch is out in the car, and she can see him being brutally murdered because the flash is going through the window. So she can see his silhouette as he's flailing around with Belial attached to his head. He's finally killed, and all the lights,
room by room, systematic,
in synchronization, follow the score of the movie and shut off one by one. It's quite interesting.
It's beautiful.
Yeah. Now, where are we at after this?
So she goes and fucking talks to Lou and was like, "What's his bucket? The photographer is dead, right?" And
she ain't gonna call the cops because she like, I still ain't no snitch.
Well, her bitch ass wants the $1 million and the TV rights and the book rights and the signing rights and all that shit that she talked about in the car with the photographer. And so she goes to Lou, and then Lou tries to fucking threaten and blackmail Dwayne, being like, "I'm going to meet up with you, and you're going to talk to me, because if you don't, I'm going to call the cops and sick them on you," right? And so they meet up in a bar, and this is the scene that I was talking about earlier. I don't know. We'll talk about this because I don't understand how the fuck this even happened. So they walk into a bar, and when you look at everyone in the bar, they look like totally normal people. So he goes and sits down, and Dwayne's like, I ordered you a beer.
Oh, yeah.
And you're like, oh, okay, yeah, he ordered him a beer. He probably poisoned the beer or something like that, right? And this is where the
Probably
guy
jerked off in it.
Yeah.
At least rubbed his pee-pee all over where the mouth goes.
So he's like, oh, you could be a regular ladies' man. You could be like a regular person. You're not like all these other freaks, which he's never met them, so he doesn't know what they look like anyway. And then Dwayne gets up and he's like, oh, I could be normal? Well, in this house, I'm the weird one, right? And then he goes and he's like, hey, everyone, can I get a vote of hands? And then everyone turns the fuck around and they have paper fucking masks
Some
on
of them are like
human fucking faces.
Some of them are 5 feet tall.
Right.
Like 5 foot tall masks.
Right. Some of them don't even
Well,
cover
like-
their like gross underface.
No. Well, like, the best part is the guy, the fucking piano teeth man. I don't remember what you called him.
Yeah, it's piano teeth.
But, all right, yeah, with piano teeth. The mask is like sitting on top of his teeth, not covering
They're
anything.
just sticking out the sides.
They're just sticking out the fucking side. And the guy, and that's the best part. They realized how ridiculous it would be if they shot all of them wearing paper mask at first. So they had normal fucking people in there. And then he sits down and they're like, surprise, motherfucker.
Yeah, or just like lit it in a way to where like you couldn't really tell it was them, but it wasn't fucking ridiculous.
Oh, man.
Like, as it transitions and you see they're actually the mutants or whatever. But
yeah,
this is another disappointing scene. It's great at first, but it's disappointing because the freaks do nothing. He just fucking basically outsmarts the editor by putting Belial's basket in the back room. And the editor is kind of scared about seeing all these freaks, so he hesitantly backs into this back room with his gun and trips and falls onto the basket, and Belial starts chewing on his face.
That's right. That's where you first get to see him
Another
doing
classic.
the classic face massage that he's so well known for.
The fish hook.
His main
so
move.
Ah!
Yep. So he completely fucks that guy up, and the dude, out of all fairness, kind of gives a good fight.
Yeah.
Probably
the best fight out of anyone.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
If only he could
Now,
point a gun
is it-
directly behind his head, he probably could have killed him.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Very odd scene because he starts firing off those shots at Belial and he's missing, and you see the bullet holes piercing into the dark bar, and you can see the light pushing through the holes. And I was like,
don't
oh
hit
shit,
any
like,
of the freaks.
yeah, so I was like, oh, well, that probably means that like Dwayne is shot and Belial's gonna go ape shit, or one of the freaks took a fucking bullet in the giant fucking head or something. But no, that's not the case. It's just there for aesthetic reasons. I don't know why the fuck it's even there. It makes no sense. All right, so Belial and Dwayne kill this bullshit
He
editor.
comes crashing through the balsa wood door.
Oh yeah, he comes flying through the wood door with the ripped up face.
Right.
Now, what's next on the agenda here for Dwayne and Belial? They gotta finally kill off this tabloid reporter, right?
Right. Well, they hop into these strangers with Candyman, and
strangers with Candyman,
and fucking decide to play Candyland. No, they go off.
I wish they did.
Oh man, if they played board games, that would have made this so much better. No, so they
played the Have You Seen My Wiener?
Yeah,
that's the game they played.
Right.
Hide the sausage.
Have you seen my wiener?
So all the freaks jump in the van, right? And they go to the tabloid reporter's apartment. Now, none of them have a cell phone. This is 1990. So none of them have a fucking cell phone. But the reporter is hopping out of the shower and she's drying her hair or something. And the phone rings and then it hangs up. And then she's like, oh God, that's a sign. Like, I don't know how the fuck you instantly know that means a gang of freaks is coming after you, but she knew. And then
also, I might like to add that, man, she knows all the best times to smoke a cigarette because it's right after you have a shower and blow dry your hair. That's the best time to, light one up, in my opinion.
and stand in the smoke.
Yeah.
Well, if your hair's not wet, how's it going to really seep in?
I just got clean. I want to smell like cigarettes again.
Well, this is the seedy area of New York, remember? But anyway, so they fucking call again. I don't know on what fucking phone, but they call again. And then she's like, oh shit, something's going to happen. And then Dwayne is there. Poof. Out of fucking nowhere. Dwayne's there and was like, oh, you wanted to interview my brother, and he's here to talk to you. And she's like, oh, I don't want to do that right now. Ha, ha.
Yeah, this is Dwayne doing his best WWE intro speech.
Oh, boy. Like right before somebody's, like, interrupts with their theme music and fucking hits him with the steel chair.
You know it.
Get this guy out of here.
This is Vince McMahon walking in right here. This is him. And The Rock is sitting in the ring being like, what the fuck are you talking about? I can't hear and I can't smell what you're cooking. So he just starts fucking going off on her. And then all the freaks are in the apartment. How the fuck did they get in there? Like,
yeah, that's true.
How, like, they showed the one climbing through the window. They showed Chrome Dome climbing through the window. And then where the fuck did they all come from? They were just magically in their apartment. How did they sneak past everyone and get into her apartment? Any fucking way. And then they have the nerve to let her know that she should ask, what's in the basket?
Well, fucking...
And it's not lotion.
What's the fucking lotion in the basket?
I can interrupt just real quick. I think it's pretty obvious that Mac tonight got there on his magical piano.
Oh, yeah. Fucking just floated in through the window.
Yeah, so he tricks her. He says he has Belial's basket, and she looks in there, and nothing's in there. And then there's another fucking basket, like wicker hamper. And he cleverly says, what's in the basket? And she opens it, and Belial jumps out and just fucking rips her face up.
Right.
And they let her know that she's a freak now.
Yeah, dude, that's...
Exactly.
He gives her the ultimate fish hook.
Yeah. Yeah, he winds her face up. But it's pretty funny because then again we're let down by these freaks just literally, I don't know, beating off as Belial just does all the work.
True. They don't do shit.
It's just, yeah, they're fucking, why would you even take them? Like, that
Limp
just sounds
Bizkit.
like a hassle. It's a bunch of diapers to change, a bunch of fucking bottles to give. It's just not, it's not good.
Mm-mm.
Yeah.
Nope.
All right, so they kill off tabloid reporter.
Mm-hmm.
So everything's good to go. They've eliminated everybody that knows where Granny Ruth is, and so they go back and they go home to celebrate.
Oh yeah,
and it seems that Granny Ruth's thrown them a picnic at, I don't know, maybe 1, 2 in the morning.
Nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
So
be able to see the downside.
Everyone knows where Belial is at this
hell
point,
yeah.
and this is this scene. So the entire time, this is one thing that kind of bugged me about this, and by bugged me, I was laughing hysterically. So the entire time, every time Belial's killed someone, it's always been by jumping up and putting like the bottom portion of his grotesque, deformed body, which is now a giant ball sack, on someone's face.
Nothing wrong with that.
He's literally teabagging
Pretty
people
much.
to death. And then comes to find out, it ain't just a teabag. Like, in this amazing, super lubed puppet sex scene, where it's the woman in the, like, they put the face, they do that scene where they put her face in there and then just put, like, the weird fucking puppet around her.
Yeah.
So it's one person and a puppet.
It's the classic head through the bed trick.
So I don't want to step on any toes by any means, but I'm curious more than ever to hear Steve's thought on this puppet sex scene. So Steve, please
do.
tell me in great detail what you some of the finer points of this puppet sex scene?
Well, first I thought we kind of went over too fast the scene where we didn't really get into the scene where Dwayne was standing fucking stark naked looking at himself in the mirror.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
I thought for sure we were gonna base the whole episode around that.
Well, the only reason we did is because we didn't get the actual money shot.
Yeah, that's true.
They left us high and dry.
We already gave it away last time.
Yeah. No more cock for you.
You've seen enough. This is a children's picture.
They thought they thought that if they showed that dick bouncing up and down when he was running, that would have been enough. But I don't think that's right, Steve, and I agree with you. We didn't cover this scene, and please feel free not only to discuss the puppet sex scene, but also discuss the naked look in the mirror scene.
Well, yeah, I just thought the naked in the mirror scene was classic cool. I just wanted to bring it up so we didn't forget it, but in the sex scene, I feel like they got it right with just lubing him up with all the baby oil like The Rock always has all over him. And and then I love how long the scene goes on where they're just fucking yelling like retards and moaning at the same time. Like, I don't live in an apartment, but were you guys watching this pretty loud? Like, did you think like my neighbors are gonna think bestiality retard porn or something?
I totally did turn it down. I was like, oh shit, this is going on way too long.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. This is one of those scenes where, again, if for any of you guys that saw episode 1 with our amazing Belial sound effects, this is that scene where we.
Oh man, that's so funny. Yeah, so they bang
you
one
guys-
out. They're banging
They
one.
bang 12 out.
That's true. They do.
That's true. But we'll talk about the
Can I just
ridiculous
mention
aftermath of this retard sex.
Can I just mention that in this one they're doing it from the top, I guess. I don't know how these puppets work, right? But somehow she has a leg, and the leg is flipped up over Belial, and it's just like slapping him in the head. Oh my God.
Just kicking in ecstasy.
I honestly
like a
thought,
dog getting scratched.
I honestly thought Belial was going to do the classic good old spit in her mouth move, but he didn't do it.
I mean, this sex scene goes on so long, they even let Belial finish. You hear him like with his just...
And he, spoiler alert, but he doesn't pull out.
No, he doesn't.
Oh, wow. All right, so that retard sex goes on, and this is where Dwayne meets up with his the
girl,
his crush.
Yeah, the girl that he
Granny Ruth's granddaughter.
Yeah, and that's the same girl that after him being naked looking in the mirror, he's unsuccessfully been able to ask her to run away with him. And so
like 5 times
now.
now.
Yeah, he's been working on it.
This is where he builds the courage to do that.
Yeah, and so turns out
So Steve,
I was hoping Danny could tell us about how this doesn't pan out for the fella.
This is going on while Belial and face through the bed person are getting it on. And
all right, it's Kyle's turn.
Yeah. No, I got this. Anyway, so she just keeps telling him, I'm different. No, I'm different. No. And then for whatever reason, lets him like put her on the bed. And then she's like, oh, by the way, I've been with another man. She doesn't mention that it's one of the freaks, but for whatever reason, she slept with one of them. I'm guessing it was McKnight, but
it was whatever Magic Moon guy.
I'm gonna guess that. I'm gonna guess that mouse creature played his cards right.
Oh, Ratfink.
He just looks so cool shifting those gears in those cartoons.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, fucking shaking like Michael J. Fox.
Well, you know what? I'm gonna root for the underdog. I'm gonna say Tubby Poop Man got a piece.
Well, it might have been
anyway. Someone It might have been all of them.
Oh, giant gangbang.
Freddy Krueger style.
Oh, fuck.
Oh, Jesus.
Anyway,
Continue, Danny.
Yeah, back to the PC portion of our regularly scheduled program. Yeah, so they're getting it on, and then she's like, I've been with another man, and then she's like, I'm pregnant. What? In Dwayne's voice. And then she's like, I've been pregnant for 6 years.
And
at this point, she decides to show him, because Dwayne's like, I don't know what the fuck you're talking about. I'm Dwayne.
So,
and
she lifts up her shirt. The worst hack job of a cesarean section has gone under the shirt. And then, what pokes its head out of her? Fucking Audrey 2. You know what I'm talking about?
Right.
Little Shop of Horrors Audrey 2 pokes its head out of her fucking stomach. And you're like, what was she fucking?
Yeah. That's why it's anyone's guess. Like, you look at all the freaks, you're like, which one could recreate that?
None of them. Maybe the monster from Beetlejuice. Who knows?
Yeah, maybe.
Fucking sandworm.
Yeah.
Oh, Jesus.
Anyway, and then he freaks out. He has his meltdown, and then she's like, talk to me, Dwayne, because apparently every woman does this to him.
Mm-hmm.
First one was, let me in, Dwayne, and this one's like, talk to me, Dwayne. And then they both end up dead because she flies out the window onto the fucking picnic table because Dwayne's an asshole.
So once again, we have, this is movie number 2 where fucking Dwayne doesn't get laid.
Right.
Yep.
This is why he's so angry.
Because
Yeah.
That's why he's so weird and a terrible actor.
That's the root of his problem.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he's a little backed up.
Do you guys know what he should have done? I was thinking he should have ran in there, pushed Belial out of the way, and started just fucking that weird growth.
Because what you gonna do? Get away?
Yeah.
Locked Belial in the basket and made him.
Or you know what?
Poke
Come
her
on.
nipple.
Look. Hey, you know what? They're brothers, and her mouth was certainly making a lot of noise. He could have plugged that up.
Oh, God.
Maybe a little Eiffel Tower.
All right.
All right. This is taking a turn for the worse.
Eskimo and real brother.
Yeah.
Huh?
God damn it.
Okay, so Dwayne gets pissed off that she's not normal like him, and that's basically why he pushes her out the fucking window. And
falls on the barbecue table
and ruins the fun. And Dwayne has just completely gone nuts, and Granny Ruth is going to lock his ass up because of it. I don't know. I believe that's where it ends, fellas.
No, so here's what happens.
Wrong.
Danny says, you are wrong.
He did. Damn. So basically,
you guys know what comes.
So
next.
after Susan flies out the window, lands on the picnic table, she knows what's up. Granny Ruth knows what's up, so she sends the freaks on a manhunt to find Dwayne. Right. So
yeah,
and they just dance around the
exactly
main floor like fluttering.
This is what
fingers.
I'm getting at when I'm saying they're like fucking weird Munchkin Muppets, because they're like wringing their hands and jumping up and down, and they're like opening closet doors and looking for fucking Dwayne, and it's like, yo, she flew up from the fucking second story. What the fuck are you doing? Get your ass upstairs.
Yeah, I believe they all looked up the window and saw Dwayne looking at them.
Waved at him.
I wish Dwayne would have pulled like a Home Alone 2 and just put traps all through the house and fucking destroyed all these retard mongoloids.
He's too simple to outsmart the retards.
Yeah.
Oh man, that would have made it worth it.
Oh man.
But yeah,
so while they're dawdling around downstairs, Dwayne manages to find Belial and grabs him, and he's on a tear now. He's fucking lost his mind. So he grabs Belial and he runs into that first room you see Belial in with all the toys and stuff, and he's digging around looking for stuff, and he ends up finding a basket full of like yarn and crochet needles, and starts fucking sewing.
Not even a crochet needle, dude. This thing is like 12 inches big.
And he starts fucking sewing Belial back onto his side, like, all right, we're meant to be. And just then, the fucking downstairs retards figure out from the commotion upstairs, oh, maybe we should go upstairs. And Granny Ruth walks in right as Dwayne has Belial stuck back to his side.
Well, the reason that he's decided to sew him on is because he's like, Belial's getting all this action, I'm getting none, so the way to make it so he doesn't cock block me anymore is to sew him fucking back on.
That's right.
Action through osmosis.
Yeah.
Boom. Put that baby to bed.
Yeah.
Put it to bed.
Put that slime ball in the basket.
Yeah. Yeah, I completely forgot about the last 5 minutes there.
Yeah.
It's okay to zone out. I did too.
Totally.
All right, so that's where it ends. Now, Steve.
Yeah.
We'd love to hear some fantastic facts.
Well, fellas, especially Kyle, I think you're gonna like this movie if you like suit stealing, primitive computers, window busting, big fucking wicker baskets, old men in soiled one-piece pajamas with big knockers, monsters fucking, and finally, freaks on the shitter. Right?
Oh, yeah, the mouse, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Was it the mouse taking his shit? I forgot about
Yeah.
that.
He was just in there and he was like, I'm done. You know what I mean?
Holy shit, man. Oh, that's good. Oh, man. Now, Kyle, you said you were going to try to steal Steve's thunder.
Yeah, that's what I heard.
Yeah, I don't know if I can top that. That was pretty excellent. But I'm going to say you'll like Basket Case 2 if you like... Sad moments with soft music you're sure will turn into a Disney song at any moment. Loud graphic puppet sex. Getting cock-blocked because Bay is pregnant with the sandworm from Beetlejuice.
Hey.
And last but not least, watching a background character desperately hold on to their prosthetic head to keep it from falling off.
Yeah, that's true. Holy shit, man!
I appreciate that you.
Well,
I appreciate that you did my section, and we also thought the same thing about the Beetlejuice monster.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, that. Yeah, great minds think alike. All right, so now this is where we rate the movie, Steve.
So the way that this piece of shit's gonna work is, we rate it on a scale of 1 to 5 dumpsters, 1 being the best a B-movie could be, not this movie, and 5 being an all-out dumpster fire. So, yeah, why don't we get into your thoughts on, we already know what you think about Belial, but your quick thoughts on the movie, the score if you noticed it, and what your dumpster rating is. Anyone? I can go first.
All right, Dan. Yeah, you go first, Steve.
Yeah.
Well, I thought it was, let's see here. My thoughts on Basket Case 2, Belial Decides to Be Helpful, was, I thought it was worth a watch. I would say, I didn't really notice much of the score, but maybe it's because it fit in with the Saturday morning cartoon feel of the movie. So I thought it was a decent movie. Belial definitely was more of a badass, and he didn't scream a bunch and make me annoyed. And I was thinking, God, if Belial fucks that monster, it's going to be great. Especially because it could create babies, which is going to be the ultimate. And so, with that being said, I think I rated the last one somewhere around 2.5. I would say, for entertainment purposes, this one's probably 2.5 to 3, so I'd say 2.75 is what I'd give it. 2.75
Nice.
dumpsters.
Gotcha. Cool.
All right.
Kyle.
So, I might have been too hard on the first Basket Case because I gave it 3 dumpsters, and I think you guys were mostly around 2.5, and I would...
Yeah, we made you go first.
that.
You had no clue of the scale.
Yeah, well, I didn't know there was, you could do point, whatever. I thought you had to pick a whole dumpster.
We can do whatever we want.
All right. So I'll retract and go back and say the first one it's probably more of a 2.5, and this one's either a 3 or a 2.8, somewhere in that general range. I think, if you liked Howard the Duck or the Texas Chainsaw Massacre Part 2 or
God, that's great.
or the Garbage Pail Kids movie, this is right up your alley.
Yeah.
But same thing. The score was, I don't know, maybe it was just me, but the first 2 so far, the score has been kind of not there for me. I'm not noticing it.
Well, then don't hold out for the third one.
All right. Well, I'm gonna go ahead and go next then because I feel like I'm the only one that has a differing opinion on this movie.
You thought it was the best?
I thought it was the most amazing movie ever. No. And how dare you put this on the level of Howard the Duck?
Yeah, I was gonna say Howard the Duck is pretty shitty.
Yes. Oh shit!
Oh.
Suck on that, Vasquez.
Boom!
Oh man!
Put that baby to bed.
How many babies you got to put to bed, Steve?
12. So
9 more.
9 more by Belial's count.
Anyway, so I'm gonna go ahead and give this a 4.1 dumpster fire. Because
I'd hate to see what you give number 3.
Background character.
Shit.
You've already seen what these background characters can do, which is absolutely fucking nothing. And so there was like no point to this movie other than Belial getting some and Dwayne going crazy. Like that was the only those were like the only 2 points of this entire fucking movie. And the freaks did nothing. Everyone that dies, it was too awkward and convenient. And yeah, it just fucking whatever. And then the goddamn circus music that all of a sudden came in out of nowhere
at the end.
Like, yeah, carnival style. Yeah, I don't know, man. This did nothing for me, and the fact that Dwayne was again Dwayne and had not his flowing locks, he lost his mane.
He lost his mane and gained a bunch of weight.
Right?
Yeah. And then just had a stupid haircut that made him look stupid.
Yeah, that's true.
Like, I'm very articulate tonight. Yeah, I mean that's why I rate it the way that I do. But I do have to say Belial's character, I don't know if they lost the puppet from the first movie because this is 8 years later, but fucking weird, man. Like, why do you take the puppet from the first movie and you're like, to make it better, we're going to make him look more like a ball sack with giant beefy arms.
Like a gargoyle climbed into a ball sack.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, Danny. 4.1. I'll give it a solid 3. Now, the reason I give it a 3 is because it had the potential to be a 2, but these fucking other freaks did nothing to entertain me other than run around with their fingers up their asses.
I would have liked to have seen that.
That would have. Oh man, that would have been great. I would have gave it a 1.
That would have made it
those
movie.
things. Yeah, if those things started killing people with Belial, I would have been so stoked on that. But they were just a complete, I don't know, irrelevant subplot because we're focusing around Belial and Dwayne trying to escape from conviction of murder, and they're just there to kind of ease the transitions from all 3 acts. But I mean, I give it a solid 3 because it's still entertaining. Puppet sex, you can't go wrong with that. You also can't go wrong with a movie taking place literally 24 hours from the first, but you wait 8 years, so you get a skinny fat lead character.
It's like it just went to his head.
This completely redone Belial. Now, it is a completely redone puppet, but they made him a lot meaner in this, and he had more expression. He was animatronic.
He didn't scream all the time.
Right?
Yeah.
He could hang on to walls.
He could hang on to his victims.
I give it a 3 because the first one was so gritty and dirty, and I know that this one isn't that because of the massive increase as far as the budget's concerned, but they still could have kept it dirty and had that New York vibe, which they did not do. It was just too cleaned up.
All right.
All right, then.
But that's it for the episode 23, part 2 of the Basket Case Trilogy retrospective.
Part 3 is going to be super short, so bear with us.
It's going to be super sexy.
Yeah.
You can always follow us on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook at B-Movie Trash Talk. Don't forget to visit our website, www.bmovietrashtalk.com, where you can catch all of our back episodes. We're going to have some written reviews up soon, so you can keep an eye out for those. You can follow me at Trevor Turpin. You can follow Steve.
That's right, you can.
Just follow him around.
No, you follow Steve at Steve Normand. You can follow Danny at Danny Butternubs. And
Kyle got a new handle.
Kyle?
I did. It's a lot
You
easier.
did?
At Mr. Disposal.
Or you can call him at work.
But other than that, that's all we got. Follow on our next episode where we talk about Basket Case 3.
Goodbye, everyone.
Bye.